SABMiller is the world's second biggest brewer by volume and has a market cap of 832 billion rand, headquartered in London. It has more than 200 beer brands in over 75 countries across 6 continents. The group is also one of the world's largest bottlers of Coca-Cola products. It trades on a price-to-earnings ratio of 28.6 and a dividend yield of 1.6. So let's start on the SABMiller side of things. Obviously, recently that news flow around Graham Mackay, and hopefully all has gone well on that side. Do we have any updates?
Well, he always was going to step down at the end of the year. So we have no updates on that, and hopefully he's doing fine. But I don't think that's why the share price has come down in the last few weeks. So main reason for the share price pulling back is emerging markets all over, their currencies have weakened against the dollar. And therefore, in reporting terms, breweries reporting is going to be slightly less, because everything they're reporting is dollars and all of their earnings are coming from emerging market currencies.
Paul, just give us an indication of how we've played this one to date.
We have been long SABMiller and made money from it, and we are not currently in it. So we haven't.
It was one of those tidying up of the portfolio that came from Mark
Yes, not
Wilkes.
the most recent ones. It was, in fact, I think the one before. Anyway, the long and the short of it is
so
we're not.
So you got out before the fall?
Before the fall, and we haven't been losing money on its kind of pull back down into the 400s. So I don't know. I mean, the interesting thing about it is that why has British America remained at all-time highs? This one has fallen. I think Rob has put his finger on it. They, basically will have emerging market profits and losses. The margins are determined in each country, where effectively currency weakening has, been somewhat neutralized. But when they translate those results back into dollars, they're not going to look so good. So the market's kind of currently waiting to see what happens there. Having said that, I think management transition's fine, sales are good, the new joint venture in China, they're going gangbusters in Africa with expansions and new breweries and new, distribution
Let's just focus on the Africa story for a while. It is doing very well for the stable.
Yes, they've added a lot of capacity as well. So as before they were importing a lot of product into there, they've now got factories running, they've got breweries running. So a lot of it is now organic growth coming out of Africa, excluding South Africa. So looking very good there. And
even South Africa is looking good.
Even South Africa is looking good. Growth there, I think it was about in double-digit figures in South Africa. So even though our economy is at 1% growth, the beer sales are in the double digits.
Well, maybe that's why the beer sales are in double digits. We'll have to ask Norman Adamy and his team whether a depressed economy results in more drinking across the board.
I don't know if it does. I think it's more generally that if consumer sales look good. And in fact, for that reason, the North American sales ought to pick up themselves. Because remember, that Miller Coors business has been a bit of a laggard, and in America people have been switching to other alcoholic beverages. So beer hasn't been that great. But with a stronger US economy and things beginning to look better there,
people are going to start drinking
maybe
more.
They'll make some money there for a change.
Let's just look at the downside risk to SABMiller. Can we recover from these levels, or do you see more pressure on the downside?
No, even their most recent acquisition, which was Foster's, I was a bit skeptical about, because it was apparent that Foster's already had very good cost controls, and I couldn't quite see what they were going to achieve down there. They appeared to have done well. They integrated into their sort of Pacific operations. As I said earlier, they're growing in China. So I think it's going to be another period of solid growth. Alan Clark, the new CEO, definitely knows what he's doing. He's been in the management team forever. I think they're going to deliver good results again, barring some sort of currency madness. But currently, my currency outlook is for the emerging market currencies to recover. I think they're all oversold.
Let's put the currency out of the equation. Any additional downside risk for SAB?
I don't think so. I think they're looking really, really strong at the moment. And PE now 28, which is like at an all-time high, but forward PE starts to look a little bit better, starts to come down, so the valuation is starting to look better. And you've also got InBev and Anheuser-Busch InBev, which are looking to purchase something. And while emerging markets are really the thing, and actually breweries moving up, it gets a bit expensive. But as it consolidates at these slightly lower levels, they come back into play. Do they want to buy SA Breweries? So I think there's always a chance of some corporate action. It's a very big corporate action.
Would the competition authorities not have a problem with that?
I don't think so. In the areas where AMB InBev is, they're not that competing. Overall, yes, they'll have then virtually a cap on emerging markets as well as industrialized markets. But I think it could go through, but it's about $120 billion. So it is a very big transaction to look at.
Would you utilize any downside pressure to buy into this one?
Yes, I think also historically when emerging markets are under pressure, it's a good opportunity to buy into SA breweries. So historically, over the last 10 years, when emerging markets are under pressure, the share comes under a little bit of pressure and it's an opportunity to buy. So I would take any downside pressure in breweries and buy some more.
Paul, does that sound like music to your
Yep,
ears?
no, I
Are we
like
going to
the
buy
sound of
back
that.
in? No, for
I
the
think
portfolio.
So. Don't forestall the trade of the day.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
But
Don't
wait,
say
but wait.
trade of the day now.
But wait, there's something else I just want to put on the table. Yes, maybe someone's going to come with a $120 billion check to do this. I think that would be a huge stretch. But I think what's more likely is that SABMiller may look to take this opportunity to offload some of their South African assets. Because remember, they've still got that big 36% stake in Tsogo Sun. Maybe they can do a deal with HCI and sort that out. They've still got bits and pieces of local assets here. Sure, I think ABI, which is the Coke bottling operation, they'll probably keep because that's sufficiently, aligned with the beverages type of thing. The other thing that I really think SABMiller ought to think about doing is to go into liquor and spirits, because remember, they own a big stake in distillers in this country. But why wouldn't they go and buy some other sort of beverage Diageo type player out there? Because for me, that would be a good move in the booze space.
Are you going to
go
share
there.
this with SABMiller management?
You know what? I'm sure there are investment bankers who beat on their door every 30 seconds suggesting, that kind of deal. Because remember, for these big global titans, money, debt, corporate issuance is available at record low rates. So you can do all the dreams and all the deals you've always wanted to do.
I want to go back to Paul saying that he expects emerging market currencies to become on the front foot again. Can I use very clumsy terminology, but to become better? Do you agree with him, or do you think we're softer for longer?
I think we're going to be softer for a little bit longer. I think money's coming out of the emerging market bonds, and that's putting pressure on the currencies. Yes, we oversold on the rand. We touched 10.30. We touched 9.99 today. So it depends where you look at it. So we are a little bit oversold. But I think in the next 2-3 months, there's still going to be outflow of emerging market bonds and into the States as that real interest rate increases in America.
Hot or not on SABMiller?
I like it. I think it's a good time to get in.
Hot or not?
I'm
Rob?
hot on it.